heard till now. Really.
Awesome.
You're so kind and so funny. Thank you very much for your time and for your great advice and your great tips. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Hello everyone. It's a sunny evening here in Malaysia where I have my broccoli here because this is just to remind all our viewers, please eat healthy. All right, that's the reason why we have doctor in the house today. So this doctor is no stranger to most of you here. I've had the privilege to get to know him throughout the whole pandemic thing. You know, it's really funny why it takes a pandemic for you to get to know a doctor. You know, and since then it has never been a week that will go by without us listening to each other's voice at least once in the night. So yeah, we do host a Clubhouse room together. We're going to tell you a little bit more about that later on. So yes, guys, if you're watching this live, do type #live. Okay, so we know that you are here with us. And oh, Teacher Ken is here. Hey, Teacher Ken, thanks for tuning in live. Right, all right. And we have Chi. I hope I got your name pronunciation correct, right? Chi. Hey, thanks for tuning in live. Again, if you're watching this live, do #live. Okay, so we know that you're here in the house with us. If you're watching this on replay, do #replay. Right. So this is the first time I have a guest on my live stream that I broadcast to 3 different channels simultaneously on Facebook, on YouTube, as well as on LinkedIn. Right. So we're going to share a little bit of insights that we have gained throughout the years from a lot of painful experiences, from a lot of trial and error, and a lot of heartbreaks. Okay, that we learned 3 of the things that I'm very passionate about: leadership, entrepreneurship, and networking. So that's the reason why I named this series the L.E.N.S series, because each time I get a guest to come on board and share with us, we'll be covering a little bit of context, a little bit of perspective on these key areas of leadership, entrepreneurship, and networking skills. Okay, so if you do believe that some of your friends might need to hear this on leadership, entrepreneurship, and networking skills, tag them here, share this with them. I'll be here on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. I'll be doing this regularly as well. So tag them now or share this with them. Share this on your wherever you can show your friends, because I think most people need to hear this. Okay, we are living in a new norm. A lot of old rules don't apply anymore. Okay, so we are pivoting. All of us are pivoting, and we hope that what we share can have anyone who is listening to it gain some insights, gain some clarity, gain some directions, and they don't have to go through some of the painful routes that we have gone through. All right. So let's put our hands together and welcome Dr. Aly. Right. Dr. Aly in the house. Yo.
Hi, Cheanu. How are you?
I'm good. In fact, I just woke up like half an hour ago. Cool weather to
Yeah. You run your coaching. You run your coaching at night, yeah.
I do. Most of the weekday nights, I will be doing coaching at about 11 p.m. local time.
Oh wow!
And until midnight, because I'm following the European time. So,
that's good. That's good. Yeah. Doing international business is good.
Yep. Hopefully more to come. Right. And I can see that you're still in your clinic.
Yes. So I'm still in my clinic. Though this is the office part of the clinic.
Okay, cool. Where's your clinic? Is It's in
right.
KL
So,
town, right?
Yeah, so it's located in the KL city itself. From my side, we can actually see the Twin Towers. On the other side, we can actually see the KL Tower. So we're smack in between KLCC and the KL Towers. That's where we are. Very central,
Cool.
very accessible.
Cool. So you get to see the fireworks from your office itself.
Well, if it happens, we will see it. If not, we actually get very nice sunset of the skyline. So I've actually done a time-lapse video of how the skyline looks like over KLCC when it gets from bright, then it gets into the sunset colors, then it gets into a pastel blue, and then magenta, then it goes into night. So yeah, so it's a very nice, very scenic thing. It's nice to just sit there, have a drink and just stare into space until nightfall.
Wow, that sounds like an awesome place to watch Manchester United matches. Well, if you guys are watching this and if you're Manchester United fans, type Man United. If you're not, just ignore. We don't want to see your football club name appear here.
All right, Cup, let's get on. So I think thanks for hosting me on your L.E.N.S series, your leadership, entrepreneurship, and networking series. I think it's an amazing effort to help give out more wisdom, information sharing, and I think more importantly, perspective, because a lot of us are quite adept and we know what we're doing, but it's nice to have a different perspective sometimes, just to see things from a different angle, from a different side of the coin.
Yeah, that's true. I've been through a lot of painful routes. I'm sure you did too. So prior to this, when I posted about this event coming up, I've gathered tons of questions from some of my networks, and I prepared some of them here. So those are really, really good questions, and hopefully we can address them and set some clarity, some direction, add some context to it.
Okay.
So for those of you who are new here, and if you have not added Dr. Aly on your LinkedIn network, you can follow him here. That's the link, all right? linkedin.com/in/Dr. Aly Nah. Right. Your name is really, really unique, because every time I speak about you to my friends, they always ask me the same question. Do you get this question a lot? They will ask, is he from Sarawak? But I would say, why?
Yeah.
So where are you from? Tell us a little bit.
9 out of 10, I get the same question. All right, so I'm born, bred, and currently reside in the great city of Kuala Lumpur. So my dad's Chinese, my mom's Malay, and I was given this name. So the long name is Aly Alias Stephen Nah. So Alias Stephen Nah is my dad's name. So my dad's history is that he was born Chinese, then he converted to Christianity, so he had his Stephen. Then he married my mom, then he converted to Islam. Then he added in an alias in front of his Stephen Nah. So that becomes a very weird name by itself. And he's got 3 words, I've got 3 letters. So thanks, Dad. So each time I have to, write the SPM, shade the name. 3 letters are mine, the rest are all his. And it's a very long name. I actually fill up until the very last column of the name sheet. So to make matters worse, I did my university degree in Sarawak, in Kuching, and in Sarawak there is a sub race which is known as the Melanaus. So the Melanaus, generally they have very Malay sounding name at the front. So it could be Ali, it could be Johan or something like that. Then they always have the bin, and at the end of their name is a Christian sounding name. So I technically have a very Melanau sounding name.
Yeah.
Studied in Kuching, Sarawak. Look like this, not Chinese, not Malay. So people will always get confused. Every year during CNY or Hari Raya, everyone always asks, are you going back to Kuching for your Raya? I'm like, no. Oh, you can't go back. You poor thing. No, I'm from here. Oh, really? I thought you're from Sabah. There you go. So it goes on and on. Second part is sometimes if I sign off in my short form, like Dr. Aly Nah, some people think it's a female name because it's like,
Alina.
Alina. So I get that a lot also. I've got patients who come in, and if they don't know who I am, they just see the name, they come in and they're like looking at me with this really weird look. And when I introduce myself, they got this disappointed look that says, "Oh, I thought you were going to be a girl." Like, no, surprise. I'm a guy.
so you got a lot of male patients just because of that.
It's okay. So that's why I adjusted from doing aesthetics to doing hair transplant. So in the hair, most of my clients are men, so it works very well for me.
So what's your like specialty hair transplant? I mean, who are the people who would go to you, who would need your service? What would be their problem, and what kind of solution do you provide?
Okay, so I'm a medical doctor by training, and then I branched out into doing aesthetics for a couple of years, where we did Botox, fillers, lasers, the usual medical aesthetics segment, before I decided to just get a niche for myself, which is to do hair loss treatments, specifically hair transplants. So for men, around about 50% of men will actually have some amount of hair loss. So that becomes a niche for the men to get themselves treated. So I usually would see men who are the age of between 25 to 45 who have hair loss issues, and they've done many things. They've done their shampoos, they've done their serums, their tonics, and they've gone to maybe 1 or 2 centers. They've done a lot of research. Some even have gone to some hair centers, do some treatments, and nothing seems to work. So then they'll come to me. We'll provide them with a very honest and scientific way of treating it. And if it's not going to work, we'll tell them it's not going to work. But ultimately, the main thing that we do is to do the hair transplantation. So it's my job to assess, to know, are they a good candidate or they're not a good candidate. And if they're a good candidate, we entail what's the cost, what's the process like for them. And if they're not a good candidate, then we'll tell them there's not much they could do. Then the next step is to accept that their baldness is going to be permanent for them, and don't get cheated by other forms of treatment which are out there.
Right. Sounds like a really very specialized niche that you have.
Well, that's a niche, yeah. But don't think too much about it. It's basically those who have hair loss and they want to improve their status. They look for me. That's it. So
okay.
Yeah, so that's in a nutshell in 10 seconds. No, let's do a 10 seconds. So my 10 seconds presentation is: Hi, my name is Dr. Aly, and I'm a medical doctor that specializes in hair loss and hair transplants. And what I help are men who have hair loss issue looking for a permanent solution, which is specifically hair transplantation. That's it. Finish. 10 seconds.
That's awesome. Cool. So we know who we should send to you. Probably those men who are living with their mother-in-laws. Okay, so let's say hi to those who are here live with us. We have Chi is live here with us, and we have Michelle.
Hi,
Hey, Michelle is live here with us, and Pauline as well. Most are from LinkedIn. Even Jeroy is here. Hey, Jeroy.
Hi, Jeroy. Angela.
Yep. Angela is here. Hi, Angela. Hey. And oh my, Jeff is here. Jonah, my macam your twin. Who, me? Okay. So Angela is here live with us. We have LinkedIn user live with us. I think this is one, but she always have this StreamYard permission thing going on, so it's okay. Thanks for tuning in live together with us. It's our L.E.N.S series. We speak about leadership, entrepreneurship, and networking skills. So today we have Dr. Aly in the house, and we have tons of questions for him, thanks to some of my readers from a network who has been compiling the questions the last few days. So let's get straight to one of the most interesting questions from the lot. Since we spoke about leadership, entrepreneurship, and networking skills, one of the most common questions I got from my readers is this. So you talk about leadership, entrepreneurship, and networking skills. So which one is the most important? And if you can, put it in the sequence, how would you rank them? Which one is most important, followed by the second and third? What would be your answer?
Oh, I wish you did ask me this on the first question. I was secretly hoping that it will come on as question 5 or question 6. so that we can wrap it up. But anyway, since it's already fired away as the first question, let's go head on. All right. So to answer this, the question is, which is the most important of the three, leadership, entrepreneurship, or networking skills? Now, I'm just going to put it very metaphorically. Which of the fingers is the most important?
All.
Okay, thanks for
Of course.
answering. Let's move on to the next question.
But how would you rank them in terms of importance?
I actually feel that they are one. They are all just pillars of. It's a tripod that supports the camera, which is you. You can't say which is most important because a tripod needs all three. You can't have said that you want one to be less than the other, then your tripod will be lopsided to one side, and your vision will never be you never get the vision that you want, right? Because if you imagine you as a person and you've got the camera, your vision is staring at the target that you want, and you have these three qualities, which is the entrepreneurship, your leadership skills, and also your networking skills as three legs of a tripod. You can't have one which is shorter than the other. It will be lopsided to one side. You can't have two lopsided. It will topple over. You can't have just one. Then it becomes a monopod. It's a selfie stick. So I would say all three are actually important. All three, but they do not develop at the same time. I believe one of the question was, what is the stepwise development? Do you develop leadership first, then entrepreneurship first, or networking skills first? I think, again, you can't say which comes first. And you can't say which will get better first. In fact, when they grow, you might find one gets better than the other. Then you need to compensate later by having the opportunity to grow this. A lot of it is just by opportunity. It's so you can't get better if you were not presented a chance to excel or to try your hands at it. A bit like, let's say, if you were in, let's say, Scouts, right? So as a Cub Scout or a Boy Scout, you only have one leader. In one pack, you have one leader, and then of course in one group you have a few sub leaders. But in that small pack, you have one leader, and to be there, you need to wait for the opportunity. Whether that leader didn't come for meeting, and therefore you could bunk up, or it's time for them to move on, and you could go up, or they gave you an opportunity to shine in something, and therefore they put you into leadership role. So it's all about opportunity. But I would say all three are equally as important. You can't say one is more important than the other. In fact, you should. The real question is, why shouldn't you develop all three at the same time, rather than very monotonously focusing on just one, and say, okay, once I'm a master of this, then only I do the other one. Then when I'm a master of two, I do the third one. You can't do that. I think you have to just develop all at the same time. It's just that they may not go at the same speed. They don't develop at the same linear scale. All right. So if one is faster than the other, it's okay. It's all right. That's what we are today. And given the opportunity, let's try to bring this up. In fact, it might even go higher than the first one or the first two. Then later we'll just keep matching it. There is no end point. That's the beauty of it. There's only continuous improvement. So to answer, I think it was like 5 or 6 questions, very similar in nature.
Yeah.
There is not one which is more important. It's almost like saying, if I need to chop off one finger, which will I chop it off first? Some people will say they'll chop this off first. But did you know if you chop off your tiny finger, you can't have a powerful grip? So the tiny finger, as stupid as it looks, you still need it for the total power. Then you can get a powerful grip.
Right.
So I hope I answered that. Though I may not have answered it directly, but I just want to say that let's look at it in a different perspective, that all three are important, and therefore we should not be ranking one to be more important than the other.
I think it's a holistic approach to personal development as well as our professional development, to have all three. And like you say, sometimes the opportunities for leadership and entrepreneurship or networking comes at different time, but that doesn't discount the fact that we have to always be learning. Even if we don't have the opportunity yet, there will be plenty of courses, books, workshops, people, mentors that you can learn from. And when the opportunity arises, you are prepared, or you are way ahead from those who are just still starting from scratch and not knowing what's going on. Right?
Absolutely. In fact, what you say, Cheanu, is absolutely true. When we talk about opportunity, sometimes we say, "Oh, I'm waiting for the person to teach me. I'm waiting for the situation to appear, then I can learn leadership skill." But the opportunity to learn leadership skill can be forced as easily as going into the bookshop and picking up a book. It can be as simple as going into Spotify or Apple Podcasts and listening to a leadership podcast. So there is no longer an excuse to say, "Oh, I'm waiting for the opportunity for it to present itself," like it was a spotlight that came down from the heavens to say, "Okay, Cheanu, Aly, this is where you should go and learn leadership. Once you're done, we'll move you to entrepreneurship." No, I think it's all about your initiative to create that opportunity for yourself.
Now, most people got into entrepreneurship as a solopreneur at first. They could be self-employed, they could be freelancer. So that will bring us to the second question among the lots, and one of them is asking about this. All right, what does leadership mean for a one-man show? And I believe he was talking about solopreneur or freelancer or those who are self-employed. Okay, so what does leadership mean for them? Okay.
All right, I think this is a very, very interesting question, and we need to differentiate the question between what does leadership mean for a one-man show versus what does entrepreneurship mean for a one-man show. So an entrepreneur, as you said, you could be a solopreneur. You run the show by yourself, one-man show, that's it. But when you say leadership, people always think that you need to lead someone in the organization. You have your organization chart. You need to have a leader or a follower. Then it calls leadership. I find that concept can be improved, mainly because just because you're running a one-man show does not mean you are not leading anyone else.
True.
As a one-man show, you are probably in the industry, let's say in financial planning. It's a common one-man show. You could be like in yourself, doing coaching. You always start off as a one-man show most of the time. Okay? Or could even be, well, you can't even say doctors because you need at least a nurse. Yeah, I guess these two are the main ones. Those who do with direct sales, you are very much a one-man show. Or even like multi-level marketing. Although you fall under that whole organization, but literally when you go out, it's a one-man show. You don't have a secretary, you don't have anyone in the beginning until you have quite a stronghold or a sub-agency. So being a leadership in a one-man show basically means you now have to be a leader in your community, in your ecosystem. It still means you still have to be a leader within your family. It still has to be a leader among your peers, still among your industry.
Right.
Although in your business, you are solo, but you do not run in a solo world. You have competitors, you have peers, and you have industry. And below that, you have the whole economy, regional economy, global economy. So to be a leader in a one-man show means you still need to take a very active role to engage with the stakeholders around you. And the stakeholders are those who have an influence in your business, whether is it your clients, your suppliers, or even just your business community. You still can be a leader. So I think when it comes to one-man show, one must think that it is actually a larger responsibility because now you have no one to fall back on, but you have to be the one that leads into the community rather than if you're in your tiny shell, right? And you're like, okay, I've got, a couple of people to inspire and move forward, and therefore we go out. In fact, what do you think? What's your opinion on this?
I totally agree with what you say, because I started off as a one-man show when I was in when I left employment. The first job, okay, not job. When I left employment, the first thing I did was I was a full-time insurance agent. Then I went into direct selling and multi-level marketing. So although it looks like there's an organization where we have a leader to teach us things and stuff, but the operational side is basically one-man show. I got to do the marketing, I got to do the accounting, I got to do the prospecting, I got to do the presentation and follow-up and sales, and I got to do the accounting, everything, like basically everything. And I wish I had a PA, but I couldn't afford, because it's a one-man show. So I guess the way I look at this question here, what does leadership mean for one-man show? For me, it's personal leadership. First of all, I gotta be able to lead myself to take action, to follow a routine. Because when I'm a one-man show, in our industry, in MLM and now marketing, we always say that, be your own boss. All right, set your boss, be your own boss. Yes. But so many people, myself included, when I was much younger, when I just started off, they did not see the other side of the same coin. If you are your own boss, who's your staff? You are your own staff, right? And your staff is not working. You should sack that staff, right? So if you're your own boss, who's your staff? You're your own staff. So they just enjoy the perk of being your own boss without any staff. So to me, leadership in this sense is self-mastery, is discipline, is time management, is that rigor. And I think the rigor to practice self-mastery and time management is much more needed than when you're working with others, because you have a routine and SOP and you know what to do.
Agreed.
And I do agree when you mentioned the word influence, because leadership boils down to it's all about influence. Can you influence someone to take action? Can you influence someone to take an action just because you say so? Like you say, your supplier, your customers, your clients, your prospects, your business partners, your fans, even your spouse, right? So leadership to me is influence, nothing more than that, nothing less than that. So yes, what does leadership mean for one-man show? Everything. That will be my answer. What do you think?
Yeah, so I agree with you that you have to be the one that drives yourself. When you run a one-man show, you are accountable for yourself. If you work in an organization, someone is your accountability partner. Usually your supervisor, your subordinate, or someone below you, or even your colleague will be the one that kind of helps keep you in check. But when you run alone, you're absolutely right. You have to be the star employee. You also have to be the star accountant, the star manager, the star
everything.
marketer. Everything under the show is you.
Yourself to be a blue genie.
I remember your CNY post when you were giving angpao to your best employee of the year, which was yourself.
Best staff throughout the year. Yeah. No complaint, no gossiping, no nothing. Just work. And
the left,
that was just
the left hand says, the right hand does. When the right hand demands, the left hand fulfills. I think that's perfect, man. That's pure leadership.
That was really that's what I call mastery, right? So for those of you who are watching, if you do believe that leadership is much more needed in terms of discipline and time management, if you're working alone, type yes. Okay, so let's say hi to some of them who just joined us. We have Raja. Hello. Raja is here. Hi, and we have Jonah with us here. Jonah is talk show host,
yes, he is, the late night show. Yeah. He's developing himself.
Only the masters can do midnight show, the amateur can do just the middle in the evening, like I need the sunlight to guide me. Thanks for tuning in, Jonah. Right, hope you guys enjoy what we have shared so far. If you do have any questions for any one of us, do type in a comment below, right? So we can, as we progress, we'll pick some of the comments and we can address them. And we have Prathpal. Prathpal, you have got to connect with him, Dr. Ali. You
No,
know,
I do. I'm connected with him.
Yeah, you gotta.
He's also
see.
amazing. I've seen his setup for his
Yes.
for his
Man, he's like a
recording.
in his house.
I know, it's amazing.
Yeah, man. So I thought I was famous for my orange tie, you know, until I see his orange turban. So I just throw away my tie. You know, can't fight. And Pauline say yes, one leg cake. That's the one man show, all right? So you definitely have to have this mastery of self discipline and time discipline, all right? So let's see, what do we have here? We have this is very interesting, and I think this question got asked a lot. How can an introvert be a good networker? So first of all, do you define yourself as an introvert, Dr. Ali?
A very good question.
Because I don't, so I can't answer this.
Well, by core, I still define myself more as an introvert, although nobody will ever agree with me because I can talk so much and I can talk nonstop. But I'm comfortable being alone. I'm comfortable being isolated. I'm comfortable to sit and listen to emptiness. I've got no problems with that. I've got no problems if nobody wants to pay attention to me during a meeting. I've got the classic qualities of introvert, but I'm able to still perform when it's needed, and especially later in life and when we start doing our own business, and you can't afford to just sit in the corner being too quiet all the time, but neither do you want to be too noisy. So I mean, some people call it an ambivert, some people call it maybe a convert into an extrovert. I've beginning to find less relevance to define that. But if I need to define and to answer the question, let's do it classically, which is, how can an introvert be a good networker? Now, I think being an introvert is the best quality to be an excellent networker.
Why so?
Because how do you network, Cheanu? How do you effectively network? Effectively, right? I'm not saying how do you do it efficiently with 100 people in one go. I say, how do you effectively network with someone?
Well, if I were to pinpoint one keyword, that would be listening.
Correct. And what does the introvert do best?
Listen and observe, actually. Yeah.
Correct. So when you talk about how can an introvert be a good networker, no, they're not good networkers. They are excellent networkers if they are a true introvert, which is to listen, like to observe, and can be interested in what the other person is saying.
That's true.
Because if you're extroverted and you're busy trying to tell people about you know, let's say if I meet you and I'm trying to network with you, and we have 1 hour and it's all about me, my greatness, my highness, my everything. And when you want to talk, and I'll be like, yes, Cheanu, you're right. It reminds me just like what I did. And then I go on with the me stories again.
Oh, I just met people like that. Oh my goodness.
I know. But that's not networking. That's not networking.
That's promoting and, you know, shamelessly promoting.
So I would say being an introvert has the best quality to be a very, very effective networker. Because you have the capacity to listen. You have the capacity to let people speak. And then you have the capacity to analyze and only say a few words, which are meaningful words. Those are very classic introvert leadership, which is they only say a few words and that's enough. No need to talk so much. Those who talk a lot, let it be. It's okay.
Like the wise man up on the mountain.
Correct. Wise man up on the mountain.
The classic. So you have to... Yes, I totally agree. And I think a lot of people have this misconception about extrovert, introvert. Introvert is always very, I mean, the awkward definition of introvert means, they are always socially
timid.
awkward,
Socially
they don't go out, they want to lock themselves at home. And extroverts are like, always making noise and just want them to shut up. I think those are very skewed definitions, but honestly, when I was much more on my own extrovert side, you're right, I couldn't really deepen relationships so much. I know a lot of people, but not all of them have deep relationship until I matured a little bit and I start to find more comfort and solace with being with myself, and it's totally okay being alone. Now, being alone is not being lonely. So it was
that's
that moment onwards
That's what
that I
Purple said. That's amazing.
yeah. So that's what Purple saying. I love being alone, but I'm not lonely. Yes. So I found out that when I at that level, I mean, when I achieved that Zen-like skills, I start to network with more quality connections. So that's really true. And also, like what Michelle is saying, an introvert can also be outgoing. An introvert simply recharges their own social or mental energy by being alone. It doesn't mean that introvert is 100% quiet or shy. I totally agree, Michelle. See, that's where the stigma is about introvert and extrovert. I think those are skewed definitions, right?
But I think what the question was also, maybe if one was timid. Some people are very timid. They can't even voice out. They're like mousy voice. As you said, socially awkward.
Yes.
They are afraid that what they say is not important. The lack of self-esteem and self-confidence. So I think I would like to address that. Maybe that was could be one of the side of the coin that we may have still missed, which is if you are the kind of introvert who is timid, very shy, very awkward, how to be a good networker. Now, at the end of the day, I would say to be a fantastic networker is 80% listening. And when you listen, you have to be interested. And you also have to be impressed by someone. You have to find it in you to be impressed by what they say. Because if you're not impressed, means what that guy said is not important. You are just brushing him off. But if you're impressed, like if when someone tells you a story and you go, "Wow, that is really great. How did that happen? What else did you do? Oh, that's an interesting story. I'd love to hear more of it if you have time." That's being so impressed, so interested, that the other person suddenly feels connected with you. And you see, we didn't even do much as a timid person. You are using that couple of lines. That is very interesting. Wow, I never knew that. Then they feel they are important. When someone else feels important, they will give you all the attention they want.
Yep.
And that's true, right?
That's true.
Yeah. And
so many times I was at a networking event when both sides were trying to impress
each other, right?
Yeah. And you see, when you are hearing but not listening, the other party can actually sense it. So when you're speaking and I'm thinking of okay, when you stop, when you're at the end of your line, I'm gonna jump in and I'm gonna share my side of the story. That's not networking. That's just making noise, right?
It's just pure noise, and that's not important. It really is not important. In fact, I would say this listening, being interested, being impressed, closed almost all my sales. Cheanu, this is the trick I use, and I'm going to reveal it to you how I close my sales. And my sales are like, each person comes in, everything is a five figure. So I always start with finding out, fact finding. What's your name? How old are you? What do you do? I don't even ask about hair loss yet. What do you do? And I'll get people saying, "Oh, I'm a civil engineer." And to be honest, Cheanu, if you ask me to define what a civil engineer does in one paragraph, I'm not really good at it. So I use that as an interesting point, as an impressive point. I'll be like, "Oh, okay, civil engineer. please forgive me. I'm not very smart at this, but if you could tell me actually in a very short sentence, what is it that you guys do? And if a bridge collapses, is it the civil engineer's fault or the architect's fault? That question always cracks them up because they will start laughing. They would like to put the blame on the architect.
Yes.
Then they'll go on talking. They talk, and then I'll be listening. And then we will come to a point that I say, now I know how important your job is. And now I know that you need to meet people and that having good confidence means a lot to you. Now I'm actually pulling it towards me.
Yeah. I can see
Then
that.
Then I go, okay, so tell me about your hair loss. So that's my.
Or
that's
probably even before you ask, they will say, yes, that's why confidence means so much and I have to fix this.
Correct. So again,
that's a good one.
But that's precisely what I mean by, having good listening skills. And that is one of the things that an introvert or a classic timid introvert person who doesn't like to speak, it's fine. Learn how to listen and learn how to ask questions to make the other person feel important. Don't let them talk too long on things which are not relevant, but make them feel important that after that, once they're done talking, now it's your turn. Everyone has got an innate need to be heard. Everybody wants to be heard.
Correct. That's very true.
Our wives want to be heard. That's why when they come back, they want to start talking to you. Your kids want to be heard. When you come back, no matter how tired they're like, Daddy, I want to tell you something. And you can't say no. You have to listen.
Yeah.
Because once they're done, then you can ask them, did you do your homework? Then they'll be like, yes. But you can't ask them about their homework. They'll be like, you're not interested in me. So I don't care. You don't do.
They need to be heard. Yeah.
They need to be heard. So the innate ability the innate need to be heard makes it creates a need, and therefore, as an introvert, we need to fulfill the people's need by just listening. And I think that will be the best networking tool.
That's awesome. And like what Angela said here, listening is important for personal and business alike. As long as we are being human being and connecting with another human being, we need that. Okay. Even
Absolutely.
Connecting with the nature, we need that, right?
Yeah. Wow. Angela, you were very connected with us on the conversation.
Yeah. And Jeroy say, always listening, always understanding. And I definitely love what Perthpal say. To network is to listen and be information rich. Makes one very powerful.
Yes, absolutely.
I
learn a lot from the people that I listen to, not speak to, that I listen to, because they've got so much to teach. And I just need to shut up and listen because it really works. It may not be information that we will use it, but it will be information that we can relate with another situation to make us feel that we are interested in them.
Yep. So it still boils down to having that willingness to listen and understand and really empathize with what they are sharing. Because like in your case, in your clients, I think the classic quote still holds very true in this situation. People don't care how much we know until they know how much we care.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. You said it perfectly in just one sentence, man.
Yes, that's basically the mantra of my business, in network marketing and MLM, because no one really cares whether your product is patented, has got all this research and backed by science. If all you do is just spamming and hunting, but do you care? But if you do, and they actually don't really check on the labels and all, because they trust you, and trust is such a rare commodity nowadays. Don't you agree?
I agree. In fact, I want to share with you the other day when I did a poll, and I asked about what influences people if they want to buy a shampoo. So number one is if it's a famous brand. Number two, if it was recommendation, which is word of mouth recommendation. Number three is the awards that he has gotten. And number four is if it was, let's say, organic or vegan product for the shampoo. And vegan and organic got top spot, 40% 30% would listen to recommendation. And then the final 15% was actually shared between brand and awards. In fact, awards was the least decision making factor for people who wants to choose a shampoo. Now, what that tells us is that it's all about why you want to do something. So if you're going to do something that answers the why, it has calling out to the people's emotion, they will follow you. The second thing is recommendation. So therefore, listening to people and being able to do good recommendations is ultimately important when you're talking about being a network or even in any form of business.
That's really important, because I think I participated in that poll. You made that poll on LinkedIn, and that shows the importance of word of mouth recommendation. That shows the importance of reputation. Okay, because you can spend millions into advertising, on billboards, and like you say, it's just 15%. Yeah, the other 85% are your reputation and
the credibility.
Word of mouth recommendation. Correct, credibility.
Yep. Correct.
So now that brings us to the next question, where one of them asked, how do we balance networking and filtering opportunities? Because as we network, we're bound to find more opportunities coming to us. We're bound to attract more opportunities coming to us, and we want to say yes to each and every one of them, because that's one of the main purpose why we want to network, because we want to open up more windows of opportunities. But we only have limited resources, time,
correct,
our energy, our attention. All right, this is what I always talk about, TEA. Right, you have limited TEA, time, energy, and attention. So how do you go about filtering opportunities given that you have limited time, energy, and attention?
Very, very, very profound and important question. And I would say this comes with maturity. Doesn't mean with age, just with maturity. And a lot of it stems from excitement plus FOMO, the fear of missing out. Why just two? Now, the moment we go into entrepreneurship, which means you are now going to be your own boss, so to speak, you call the shots, it's exciting. You no longer work within the boundaries of someone else. You create your boundaries, you create your rules, you create your paycheck. Your own assessment, your own increment is defined by your own P&L. So you get so excited, you're so charged up. So the more opportunities you see, the more you want to do, because you don't want to miss out on anything. And that's where FOMO comes in, the fear of missing out. Every time a fantastic idea comes, a business opportunity comes, we're like, oh, gotta do it. It's there. It's $1 million. It's $1 million. It's a multi-million dollar. It's like when COVID struck and everyone's like, okay, gloves, mask is a good business. Let's buy tons of masks and sell. Then it was gloves. Let's buy tons of gloves and sell. And then it was glove stock. Let's buy all the gloves share price and make some money. And overnight it crashed for no reason. And if you had borrowed money, you would have gone into a lot of deep trouble. And if you did the hedging, and again, you also get in trouble. So the problem with this thing is that to balance and also to filter it, you must address the excitement and the fear of missing out. Now, I'm going to give you a very interesting story, and this story ties in with listening to your intuition and knowing that some things will happen for good reason at a good timing. You cannot force it. Okay? Because there's a lot of opportunities that come, but some of it, I'm not sure, have you went through it before? Some of it, it just very smoothly will just flow into your plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas the others will be like, they're there, but you need to work a bit harder to make it happen. And then after that, there'll be another challenge that will still make it happen, but harder. Have you been through that before?
Most of the opportunities that I went through were the latter. I gotta work my butt off.
Very hard.
Correct.
But sometimes it works, but not all the time it works. Now, I'll tell you an analogy. It may work, it may not work. And it happened to me before, and especially to us who are not so privileged, whereby we need to take the bus or take the train. And then, you see the train coming or you see the bus coming and you run for it. You run for it because you tell yourself, I must not miss this bus. You hop onto it. You squeeze yourself in. There's no place to sit. It's so uncomfortable and you can hardly breathe. But you say, never mind, I got on. Yay. And then as you reach the traffic light, another bus, bloody hell, comes right next to you, parks right next to you at the traffic light. And it's empty. There are like just 10 people inside, there's seats everywhere. And then it will drive off, and it may even arrive at your destination a bit earlier than you. I'm not sure, have you experienced that before? But it has happened to me many times. Force and run and chase after the train, after the bus. Especially when you have to sit the train and you have to go up the escalator, then you hear the train coming, then you run up the escalator. Run, just to go in. Squeeze yourself in, and then lo and behold, if you actually waited for the next train, it would have been empty.
Yeah. Always happens that way.
Now, that's the thing. Sometimes, if it's not going to go your way, chill out, let it go. It's okay. Let's go. Let's just take the next one. If the next one is still full, then it would have been the same anyway. It would have been the same. So, but a lot of it still comes from intuition. You can't say, okay, let's take the next bus if you're already late for an appointment, and that appointment has to do with a business deal, going for your interview, trying to make a good first impression kind of things. Then you have no choice. You have to. That's when you need to force it.
Yeah.
But if it's in a position whereby you can afford not to let it force, then you let it force upon you. It should come towards you more than you go towards it. I think most people call it the law of attraction.
Yeah.
If it sounds so attractive and you run towards it, but it's not attracted to you, it keeps moving away to you, making life difficult. But you say, no, I need it. You force yourself towards it, and there will be another hurdle, which usually happens for no reason. You couldn't even foresee this hurdle. It happens again and again. So although it's a very attractive deal, but the law of attraction states that you are attracted to it, it's not attracted to you. Like chasing after a girl who's not interested in you. You chase. Maybe with a lot of persistence, you might get it. Maybe. It could have been worth it, but you may not have been happy to go all the way there. It's a high risk.
And I think the art of letting go is really one of the signs of maturity as well.
Correct. Absolutely. And I think that's where it ties in. You have to know that there will always be opportunities. There will always be great ideas. There'll always be another $1 million deal somewhere down the line. But you must not have the fear of missing out. You must listen to the laws of attraction and don't hold on to it so hard. You have to learn to let it go. If it doesn't work out for you, it's okay. There will be a lot of other opportunities. I've missed a few, only to realize that because I didn't force it, it did not become a burden to me later. Because had I forced it, I would have been stuck in a deal and it would have tied on to me. And I've also done whereby I forced myself into a deal, and now I'm paying the price for it. But I have to learn to let go and still have to learn to let go and accept it. No choice. It's part of letting go.
Art of letting go. That's a sign of maturity. This is a very interesting question. How to network and make money at the same time. But before we answer this question, let's have some suspense over this. I want to talk a little bit about what we have been doing a few nights a week. That people have been asking us about that. So if you guys have Clubhouse app, okay, so Dr. Aly and I do host and moderate a room called Mental Health Safe Space. We meet every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night, 10 p.m. local Malaysian time. Okay, so for some of you international viewers here, it will be GMT +8. So you convert it on your own, right? So it's Mental Health Safe Space. We do have people coming to our room and share about their days. Some of them might need to be heard, like what we just covered just now. They want to be heard. They want to be listened to, or they're just looking for clarity and direction or support. So this is where we have a positive space to include everyone. So Dr. Lee, you want to speak a little bit about that?
Yeah. So what we do is when we run this room, basically we just create a safe zone for anyone who wants to come in to express their day. Because a lot of time we've got a lot of pent up frustration or pent up anger or sadness, and there's no avenue to talk about it. One of the things that some of our other speakers have spoken about was that although it sounds terrible, but it's true, that the people closest to you are the most likely to not be understanding of a pain that you're going through. They would downplay it. They would actually, have, in some words, toxic positivity. They would tell you, oh, don't worry, it's going to be great. Everything will work out. You just wait. You're a good person. Good things will happen to a good person. Those kind of things. And they're not listening to you. They're just trying to brush it off so that it's totally out of their face. So what we do is we provide this space for you to come and talk, and generally we lend perspective. And sometimes we don't even say anything. We just let you speak because it's important to be heard. And once in a while we get some interesting topics which are totally out of it. So like the other day we were talking about personality and Enneagram.
Yeah,
so that was fantastic.
Enneagram. Whoa, that's really interesting.
Yep. So follow us, and we'll keep you in the loop.
Angela is asking, how do I follow you guys on Clubhouse? So Angela, if you do have Clubhouse app, make sure there is a Clubhouse app on Apple iOS, right? Because I don't think they roll out for other platform yet. So if you do have Clubhouse on iOS, just search for Dr. Ali or search for me, Cheanu, okay? Or you can search for this, okay? Mental health safe space, okay? And you can follow the room so that whenever we go live and we open a room and start talking, you get notifications. Or if we schedule a time slot for that room, you get a notification, right?
Yep.
Michelle said, just follow. Yes.
Oh, well done. Thanks, Michelle.
Well done. Right. So if you guys are on Clubhouse, type #Clubhouse, okay, in the comment below, so we know we have gang. I'm using iPhone. Angela say, good for you. So it's Thursday today. So then we will see you tomorrow night on Clubhouse.
Tomorrow night. Yeah.
Yes. So let's get back to the burning question. Where is it? How to network and make money at the same time? I think Jeroy asked this question.
No. Who asked this? I
Was
got
it?
it. It's no. How to make money? Pauline. Yes.
Pauline, you're here. All
right. Jeroy asked about the one-man show.
So, Pauline asked this question. Okay, Pauline, if you're watching us, just say hi. Yes. Hilda is Clubhouse still not available for Android. Yeah, is it? I think it's not available yet. Yeah. I think so. Okay, so.
But Hilda, just to let you know, it is a worthwhile investment to get even the cheapest iPhone or even a second-hand iPhone or even an iPad to get on it. You don't really need an iPhone. You can actually get an iPad. So you can still use the iPad for a lot of other work. But still, I would say worthwhile because you can get a lot of good listens and get a lot of perspective from a lot of people for the time being. I fear that the total amount of good content may start to dwindle over time. So you might still get good value out of it for now. Okay, so let's get to the question. How to network and make money at the same time?
What do you think?
There's something I want to say about this. How do you yawn and keep your eyes open at the same time? You can't
find it just now. You just can't, right? You just can't. Scientifically, you can't, right?
You can't. It's not natural. And if you can, it's out of a lot of sheer force, unnatural force.
Unnatural.
I'll explain why. But I'm always happy to stand corrected. But this is just my perspective from being involved in business networking and all. So the question is how to network and make money at the same time. Now, if you are networking, means you are building relationships, and
That's true.
you specifically can't be in the process of building relationship and get big deals and make money at the same time. You need to really establish solid, trustable, credible relationships. Then you can make money. Then you can have this business relationship later. Okay, this is not like a relationship with between a man and a woman, whereby how do you make a baby and date at the same time? You can. That's fast. Don't use protection. Oops, moment, finish. Unfortunately, making money is not an accident. It's hardly an accident.
Yeah.
And even if you do make money while networking in a very early stage, it's not going to be huge amounts. I mean, let's be honest, Cheanu, if you know me through a networking event and we meet once a week, and after 4 weeks, are you comfortable to part R1 million and give it to me, a total stranger of 4 weeks that you've only met 4 times, on average 2.5 hours per session, but real face-to-face contact 5 minutes? Are you going to give me R1 million of your business money for 5 minutes over 4 times? No. In fact, if you think about the networking event, although we are there for 2 hours, but me and you, if we do not extend that relationship, it's literally going to be a 5-minute contact over 1 year. That's 52 times 5. That's only like 250 minutes, which is less than 6 hours. And you want to part R1 million over 6 hours. I think that is just crazy. So,
unless I got hypnotized by you, lah.
Or maybe your genie powers made me do something against my will.
But I do agree with you really just can't build relationship and think about making money at the same time, because those are two completely different focus. One is focusing out, building relationship, and one is focusing in, how much can I make? I mean, there's nothing wrong to be making money. Of course, we want that end goal. But the process is that we have to give first. We have to give our time, our effort, our attention into building that relationship, right?
Correct. So I would say, if you want to say how to make money and network at the same time, you still need to network before you make the money. Spend more time in the networking part. Then only the relationship of working together, being synergized in a business, or at minimum having a symbiotic relationship works. At the end of it, between two business partners, you cannot be one is getting everything and the other is getting nothing.
Yeah, it has to be win-win.
So it has to be win-win. So win-win means symbiotic. You get some, I get some. Or it can be synergistic. We work together to make even more. But if it's just a tip of the scale, I win, you lose, it's transactional.
Yeah.
You're not making money. You're just doing a transaction.
And that's not networking either. That's just prospecting.
Correct. This is prospecting. So don't be in a networking just to prospect your fellow networkers. I think that's not an effective way to go about if you want to go into networking.
That's interesting. When we ask about networking and making money, because just this morning I was doing a corporate training to some 40 over people in insurance. So we covered this topic about networking. Some of them actually asked, how do you really define networking? And I think that's a really good question. So I broke it down. I say, let's use this analogy of a fisherman. Okay, and we look at the word network, and let's break it down. Net and work. So let's look at the word net. So like the fisherman, we have to cast our net far and wide away from the safe shore, which is your comfort zone. So we have to cast our net far and wide and deep if you want to catch quality catch.
Correct.
Okay, if you're always staying in the shore or at the at the site of where you're comfortable with, but at most you get some seashells, right? So net, it's about how far and how far away from your comfort zone and how deep that you want to explore. That's the
Yep.
net. Now the work part is, again, like the fisherman, we have to always continuously be casting the net, rolling in the catch, but most importantly, mending our nets, because that also, leads to the quality of catches that you get. Or maybe you get it, but they just flow away because your net is broken.
Correct.
So it's a continuous work. When you put them together, just like a fisherman, it's a continuous work. You didn't just catch one time and you get rich quick.
Yep.
So if we look at it that way, it's a continuous effort, building relationship, giving your time, your energy, your attention to grow the relationship. And at the same time, you also want to periodically check on your contacts, because some of them don't serve you anymore and you can't serve them anymore. So that's the mending part. Then if you clear that part off, you have more time to serve those whom you can serve. So network, when they put together, I think that is a great analogy.
Yeah, it's a fantastic analogy, and I like how you say you have to keep mending, or you have to keep the relationship alive between your network, because as you said, if one does not work, there'll be a hole in your net. Your catches get let loose. And the other thing that I found it very interesting when you said casting into the deep end. Now, when you cast in the deep end, it also means you need to have a lot of faith, because the deep part of the sea, you don't see it.
And it's dangerous.
A is dangerous, but B, it's a group of networkers casting your business out into an area you can't see so that you can get the best catch. So you got to have a lot of faith and patience and skill in getting it done.
Yeah, patience and skills definitely is a must, where I see a lot of people making that mistakes when it comes to networking, because to them, they comfortably relate networking with prospecting. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I do, you tell me what you do, and let's see if we can buy from each other. That's not really networking, because if the true networking, the value of networking is that you have this group of people around you who would recommend you to people that they know that you don't know, and they will not even think twice when they recommend you, and they put their reputation on the line for recommending you. That to me is the true value of network. It's not about I sell to you, you sell to me. End of the day is we are just checking off each other's profit and loss account. All right. Then where's the real reward that we reap from our networking? Right.
Correct. Fantastic. That's absolutely right. So it's a lot of it is just relationship. You have to keep building relationship. You have to put in the effort, put in the work. Then everything else will work out well. True.
Thank you for your insights. All right. So for some of you who are still here, do follow Dr. Aly. This is his LinkedIn profile. He has very interesting posts. Sometimes he posts polls that ask you about shampoo and bubbles that really make your day. That's linkedin.com/in/Dr. Aly Nah. Now you mentioned it, really sounds like a lady's name when I read it out. Like,
thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, and as for me, I am a network marketing coach. That means I do coach people who are in network marketing. Network marketing is a profession more well known in Asia as MLM or direct selling. So as long as you're in MLM or direct selling in any legitimate company, all right, registered with the government and the health ministry, or in a direct selling association, do reach out to me, because I do have some coachings that I can help you pivot in your business, or at least to gain some clarity. Because one thing I do notice, a lot of people were forced into MLM because of the pandemic, and they really want to just save their family, save their household, and it's a very noble intention. It's just that when they got into MLM, they got so frustrated because of the ways they were taught to, how to do the business from the uplines who were still operating in their own norm. They would say, take out your phone book, call all your friends, some will, some won't, so what next? You're going to get like 100 no before you get one yes. I don't buy that, because if I have to get to 100 no to get one yes, that means for every one sign up, I would have to spoil 100 relationships that I took so much time, effort, and energy to build. All right. So there must be a better way. There must be a more professional way. And that is where I help people. So if you do feel that you have that need, reach out to me, comment 15, and I will set up a complimentary clarity coaching call with you. Hilda is here. She took my 15 minutes clarity coaching call. Now we become friends. So Hilda, if you're here, just say hi, all right? And for those of you who are watching this through Facebook, let's say you don't have LinkedIn, it's okay. I do have this that you can join, all right? So do join the Facebook group, okay? I do have this free Facebook group that I help people in MLM and network marketing. I do share a lot of strategies and tips and prospecting skills periodically. facebookgroup.com, right, /Cheanu.abc, or you can just search ABC of MLM and network marketing, all right? So, or if you still can't find the link, just put a comment below, right? Just put a comment below, put Facebook group. I'm going to send you the link there, okay? Or if you want a 15 minutes complimentary, just comment 15. I will reach out to you. And Dr. Ali is here. So
I highly recommend those who are listening in to take up the offer. Coach Cheanu really has got very good insights, and even he's helped me with optimizing the way that I write my posts. So and the best part, he just gives it out, because for him it's all about adding value to your life, and you build the relationship with him on what works better for you, and if you like to be coached further, which I think at the very minimum, we always need some amount of clarity before we can go and find a much more solid path. So I do recommend people to really just hit 15. You lose nothing. It's just 15 minutes of your time. Anyway, look at it that way. You're only losing 15 minutes of your time, but you may get a lot more value out of coach here. So just type.
Yeah, most of the time it lasts longer than 15 minutes because they just don't want to log off. Hilda here can be a testament, right, Hilda? So thanks, Prof. Paul, for staying up all the way to the end. This was a wonderful conversation between two very authentic gentlemen. Thank you so much. Wish to have you on my show next time, or be on your show next time. Really enjoy tuning in. Likewise, Prof. Paul, I always enjoy downloading the wisdom from your brain. It's just huge value. And Angela, thanks for informative session. A good evening, well spent. Let's go Yam Cha and KLCC. Ooh, I would love that, right? I would love to visit your clinic one day. And you were showing me your setup just now. It's like this is the best place to watch your match next time when they are not playing at 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
We can set up our own menu match. I've got a PS4 here, so
don't tempt me. Now can cross district already. I think I can come over already. But we are meeting this Sunday.
Yes.
With a few of LinkedIn Kaki. Yep. So again, just a quick shout out. Dr. Aly and I are meeting up with a few LinkedIn gang, but of course we want to limit it to just 6 for this round. We already have that 6 already, because of the limitation and the MCO and all. For those of you who are in Klang Valley also, and if you would like to join our effort to humanize digital connections, all right? So you don't want to just stay as digital friends. You want to once in a while also meet up, like really meet up, in real person. Do reach out to us. I do have a group, and I do organize meetups in person with people that we meet digitally, okay? So if you would like to be included in that group where we organize periodic meetup like that, just type meet up, okay, then I will get you into our WhatsApp group so we can always arrange for meetup periodically. And this is also something that I want to humanize digital connections, because I believe that that's much more than meeting the eyes. Instead of just commenting on our posts every day, right?
Correct.
So yes, thanks all our viewers for tuning in, especially all the way until the end. And for those of you who are watching the replay, type #replay. Dr. Ali, let's hear from you. Any message that you want to send to our audience for what we have shared today?
Well, I think the take-home message that I'd like to share today is that when it comes to leadership, entrepreneurship, networking, all three are important. All three are very important. All three should be developed. You don't need to wait for the opportunity. You can actually start to pick up a book, listen to a podcast. And something that I read and I like to share, how are you, the tools that you need to help you grow. All right. So growth is not easy, but it's getting easier because of accessibility. Now, there are 5 things that will help you grow. And number 1, to read good books. Should always make it a point to read 1 book a month, or at least 1 book every 2 months, because since it's not so much of our culture, give yourself a break, at least 1 a month or one in 2 months. So you do about 6 to 12 books a year. Why? Because a lot of it is timeless, the lessons, and you can read over and over. You can highlight it, and you can write notes on it. So it's good to chonting the book, right? Scribble all around the books. Second thing is to develop yourself, go into good listen. So listen into good podcasts, tune into coach, digital videos. There are a lot of avenues that you can listen to. Third is good thinking. Spend some time and clear your thoughts. Whether it's to organize yourself, prioritize yourself, or even to just think of, let's say, like those who are in religion, think about God. Help get some clarity, clear your thinking process, declutter the mind. Next is good conversation. Have good, meaningful conversation with people, not gossip, but meaningful conversation that has to do with something that will enrich you. And finally, always have good questions. So like today, we had some pretty good questions from our viewers. Yeah, so always have good questions, because if you can't find any good question, then always ask why. Just ask why. It doesn't matter if you are a bit annoying, but just ask why. Question why, okay? When someone say, oh, you have to do this to become successful, why? And ask why again, and ask why again. And there's I think a book or a coaching method that says the 5 levels of why. So if you ask something why 5 times and it can be answered, most of the time you would have had your answers already. Because if anyone could really answer you the why in 5 levels, they are very deep thought, deep mind, deep thought. They've got deep content for you. Those who can't answer beyond the 2nd level of why, they say, it's like that one lah, just follow lah, because it works. Then they don't really know very much about that. And therefore you need to question, do you still want to follow this kind of school of thought, this kind of methods, if they cannot have the capability to answer you 5 levels of why. So I hope that helps. So again, good books, good listen, good thinking, good conversation, and good questions.
The 5 goods.
The 5 goods.
All right. Good books does not include Facebook, please. All right. That's not even a good book. Angela has a question, but I think you tune in after Dr. Ali spoke about this in the beginning of this. So do watch the replay and #replay. He already answered that.
Yeah, it's quite early
Okay.
in the first 10 minutes, I think. Yeah.
So thank you so much, Dr. Ali. And
thank you, Cheanu, for having me.
I really look forward to meeting you on Clubhouse tomorrow night and seeing you in person again on Sunday. I think we actually met personally a long time ago, but it was very brief. You were chairing the meeting at the networking event. I was one of the visitors. But
Yeah, I think total FaceTime between face to face was like 60 seconds or less.
Less, definitely less. It took like what, 3 seconds to shake hand, and that's about it.
See, that's why I didn't get the $1 million from you. Didn't give you $1 million yet. So there you go.
Yeah,
you can't network and make money at the same time.
We're gonna talk about $1 million deals this Sunday. All right.
There you go. All right, man.
So
thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get connected. All right, let's get connected. For those of you who are watching here on LinkedIn, just drop your LinkedIn profile link so that everyone else can just add and connect with you guys. If you are on Facebook, just say hi, or drop your Facebook link so we can add each other as friends. If you're watching on YouTube, just put your channel link so we can follow each other. Okay. So that's what I can offer to all our audience for each other. So till then, stay safe, stay hydrated. That's what Dr. Ali always say. Yeah. And stay well.
Yep. All right. Thanks.
Thanks. All right. So that's it for now. Thank you so much. Bye.
That's the best tip that I've heard till now. Really.
Awesome.
You're so kind and so funny. Thank you very much for your time and for your great advice and your great tips. Thank you.
You're most welcome.